too far for us. We don't need no, baby, don't make me, baby, don't make me, baby, don't make me fly away. Don't wanna stay. I'm wondering if I have enough lighting. I think I do have enough lighting. I'm just like staying close to my mirror light. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, for those of you who don't know. I have a whole playlist on the channel that's public, full of like my favorite MJ songs. I love the song I Just Can't Stop Loving You. I have it in all different kinds of languages, all different types of music genres. It's my favorite song in the world. It just is. It's the most romantic song ever to me. But either way, now that I've totally digressed it off of the reason why you clicked on this video, number one, is not clickbait. It's not clickbait. But this is just a public service announcement. What I call it, something like that. But it's just something that I definitely want to address here on the channel. Narcissistic abuse or experiencing a trauma, having a breakup, coming out of a toxic relationship, these types of things make us want to lean on our support system. Human beings are social beings. Yes, we are. And, if you're fortunate to have a best friend or a good friend, a close relative, sister or something, or someone that you're able to personally vent to when you're experiencing things in life, that's a blessing, number one. That is certainly a blessing, all right? But given the nature of narcissistic abuse, I would just caution you to be mindful, to balance out your relationship, and it's okay to use them as a soft place to fall initially, a little bit of a crutch, but you want to wean yourself off of that, constantly reliving the situation, constantly talking to them about it, and that sort of thing, because as much as they love you and everything, I just want you to be fair to them as well. And even if you would do it for them, when we look at the bigger picture, we don't want to be enablers of allowing you to wallow, okay? And life does go on. And honestly, sometimes if they haven't experienced it, or maybe you guys bond on that note, maybe, they've been with narcissistic people as well, and you guys bond on a note. But if they haven't experienced it, they might not really fully grasp it anyway. And over time, it could become a bit much, And I know that we go through phases and as survivors where we can be a little obsessive about it. And because it was a lot. It was a lot more than most people will ever understand, and I understand this. But sometimes it's just going to be you and God, And honestly, I used to have that issue where I relied on people more than God. And he shut that down for me in a lot of ways. He didn't do it by removing my good friends, but sometimes when I wanted to, as soon as I felt something that was unpleasing to me, and I didn't know how to self-soothe in a healthy way, I needed something external to soothe me. So as soon as I would get pissed off at a memory from the narcissist, I needed to call my really good girlfriend right away and vent to her like, girl, this is still effing me up. I'm still pissed off about this. Or, whatever it is, I would have to tell her about that. But what God did to me in certain instances is they were busy. Everybody was busy. And I know that it wasn't like, oh, she's calling again, I better not answer. It wasn't nothing like that. All right. I have great friends. It was what they were legit busy because they have their own lives as well. And the other thing about being a good friend is reciprocation. We can't just dominate our conversations all about how we're just feeling today. Of course, you're like, Lakia, of course I ask my friend how they're doing. But, I know in the past, when I was healing from narcissistic abuse, I spent a lot of times, and my friends were very patient with me. For the most part, I had the one friend, and it was tough love with her. And I love her for that. She wouldn't enable me to call her and talk about things prolonged. She would get real logical and practical with me, and she would try to nip it in the bud and, get me refocused somewhere else, or get me to help me see things another way. So I did have that friend, and I love her to death for that. My other friends, though, they have soft hearts for me in that way. And it's not their personality, and they were okay with it. They allowed me to, have those times and moments. But I say this because you will see your own emotional maturity as you grow. And I've noticed it with myself. I'm not like that anymore. And actually, there's times when I could be going through the biggest storm of my life, and no one that's not involved in the storm even knows about it, you know? Because when we're calling our friends and stuff and telling them about that narcissistic relationship, they weren't involved in it per se. They just know you, and they're your confidant, you know? So, once your emotional maturity increases, you'll know what really matters anyway. Going and venting to them, it's a way of releasing it in a certain sense. It can be, but it could also be a way of perpetuating the situation. All right. And thank God for tea time. Thank God for pillow talk with someone that you could actually trust. Because it validates, you want someone to validate that you're a quality person, maybe, especially when we're in the beginning of narcissistic abuse and we're still a little too external focused, perhaps. We're looking for our friends to say, yeah, they really were a jerk. Or, you know what, that really wasn't right. Or, yeah, they should have took accountability for that. Oh, yeah, that really was effed up. We just like that validation because we know the narcissist ain't trying to do any of that, okay? And that's okay because we're considering the source, you guys. But in this video, I want us to have mercy on our friends. Does it mean that we can't never turn to them? No, but I do think that we should have a balance with it, you guys. And use your emotional maturity. I remember one time I was going through something, but and this is like a long-standing friend with me that basically knows like the most about me as far as someone external could know about me, okay? And no one knows everything, but she knows the most. I don't have to catch her up to speed per se, you know what I mean? She knows enough about me. But either way, I was going through something, but she was going through something too. And to me, even though I was going through something and it was bothering me, what she was going through was more important. She had a death in the family and it was happening at the same time as my situation, and I had to make a decision. I was like, no, I love my friend. I'm not going to put that on her right now when she's dealing with, her aunt passed away, So I chose not to bring her into it. I was like, nah. So every time she's like, how you doing? It wasn't a lie. I just didn't want to bring that to her. If she hadn't had something going on, then yeah. But this is what love is to me. And this is what friendship is, and it's not like I don't get to vent, meaning, I go to God first anyway. That's who I'm going to vent to first and foremost, and it really lowers my need to have to lean so much on human beings, but it's still nice to have, like I said, that soft shoulder and everything like that. So I want you guys to be mindful, and there are other ways, of course, to get your vent out, and that's what the support groups are for. That's what the coaching that I offer is for. And you don't know how many people have come to me, even if they have like such a patient person in their life that's willing to listen. They're like, they just don't understand though. It's really great that they're willing to listen, but I kind of don't want to share it with them at this point because they're not even going to understand. They just don't get it, So some people come to me for coaching just for that reason, because they want to vent. They want someone that's going to listen, that actually understands, and give them the type of feedback from that space and energy of understanding it, So just be balanced, you guys. You know, it's great to have close friends and family. And I'm in no means telling anyone to isolate themselves or bottle things up. There are many ways to release and to vent. You know, there are many ways to do it. You know, you could write. A lot of people journal to do this. Like I said, private coaching and therapy and counseling. Then yeah, your select friends and family, talking to God, of course, or, you know, your Lord. You know, there's a lot of ways that this can happen. All right. So shoot, you might want to go in front of the camera like I'm doing right now and just record it. Like, talk to yourself through the video and record that, and like let all your raw emotions out. Hey, some people may be theatrical out there, I don't know. Lights, camera, action, huh? So, you know, I was just prompted to make this video because a lot of people, you know, I haven't really seen any videos talking about it, but it's real. It's real. And our friends and our family, the real ones, the sincere ones, they love us to death. They do. But we don't want to burn them out. We want to be balanced with them. With our venting when it comes to this. All right. Don't abuse it. Don't overdo it. And if you feel like you have been, you need to, like I said, get some additional outlets to help you be able to do this. All right. All right, you guys, I think that's pretty crystal clear there. I don't think I need to really say anything else. We're not beating a dead horse here. We're not trying to make anyone feel guilty for talking to their best friend or their confidant or anything like that. It's just, you know, being mindful and being balanced with things. That's all. That's all, you guys. All right. So hopefully this video helped someone. It gave someone something to think about. Like, man, I really have been putting a lot on them lately. Like, I've been leaning on them a lot. And, you know, as we heal, we want to be able to lighten our need for that soft place to fall, you know? And then as we really ultimately increase our emotional maturity, we'll learn how to self-soothe, and we'll learn how to heal ourselves. So it won't be that knee jerk. Every time you feel a discomfort, you're calling them. And, you know, because I used to have it that bad years ago. I used to have it that bad, you guys. So I had some growing to do in that department, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay. All right, you guys. I mean, even commenting down in threads like this is little ways to vent. You know what I mean? There's so many ways, you guys. So you can check the description below if you're interested in joining my support groups. I have a public one and a private one, okay? If you want coaching from me, you can visit my website, lakiacrawford.com, and pick a package that works for you. All right, with that being said, you know, cherish the good people that you have in your life, right? After narcissistic abuse, when you have a real person, a sincere person in your life, you gotta, you know, appreciate that, all right? Just be fair to them, all right? And put yourself in their shoes, all right? As much as you can, as much as you can. All right, you guys? So until next time, continue the work, of course. Never give up on yourself, and take care.